Hey, y'all, thank you for being out here. Let's get the blood flowing a little bit. Can I do a little calm response? Would you hear? Housing is a human right. Housing is a human right.
Housing is a human right.
Believe that. All them politicians, they're going to tell you all this, oh, well, we care and we're concerned about the homeless, you know, when they make people an object, right? We're very concerned about the housing is a human right. We don't need your damn concern. We need the housing now. So let's start there. Now, I'll be brief with my comments today. I want to echo, since I'm not going to speak on it very much, I want to echo what others have said and will continue to say about the utter illegitimacy and corruption involved in UC Hastings' attacks on homeless San Francisco. It's full of shit, and UC Hastings has got to step back, get back in their place, get off of homeless people's backs, and reparate some of their hoarded and stolen land now. But what I really want to speak on today with y'all is about housing, and it's not about UC Hastings, but it's about the CEO of San Francisco, your mayor, London Nicole Breed. That's what I want to speak on today. A lot of people be pissed off about this t-shirt I'm wearing. It says London breeds hate. And the first thing out of people's mouth gonna be, oh, he's hating on black people because he's hating on our London. All right, let's step back a minute. I want to tell you stories about two black people to illustrate my point here. One is not from San Francisco. One came up in a poor family in Nebraska. And when he was coming up, black did not exist. When he was coming up, he grew up with a history where first there were slaves and freemen. Later, in the dawning of the 20th century, there were colored people. And as it got towards first halfway point of the 20th century, people became Negroes. That's the world he grew up in. But he came up with a different name, a name for us to be proud of, and he may not have been the first to coin it, but he sure as shit was the one who made it popular. This man grew up in Nebraska, later became famous in New York and traveling the country, which is where he died, and I speak of El-Hajj Malik El-Shabazz, aka Malcolm X, and the reason that I invoke our black shining prince at this moment here is what a lot of you may not know, is Malcolm X died a homeless black man that was assassinated with collaboration from the police. It ain't that different from what we're talking about here. So that's point one. Point two, I want to talk about a different homeless black man, and this is a man that if he still were alive today, would be 46 years old this July 4th, and this was a homeless black man that lived in this very neighborhood. This man's name was Darnell Benson. Darnell Benson, most of you probably haven't heard that name. It wasn't one of the famous cases of police atrocity. It wasn't the Mario Woods. It wasn't the Oscar Grant. And love to all of their families, because I do not at any point want to diminish the significance of those police assassinations. But there's a lot of other people that have been killed that don't get the notoriety. Now, Darnell Benson, he was picked up on April 3rd of 2015 off Kiska Road in Hunters Point. But he lived out here. He was homeless out here in this neighborhood. Keep it real, blocks from here, folks. All right, he was picked up on Kiska Road. He was in a mental health crisis, right? He was in a mental health crisis, and instead of being taken to General Hospital for mental health treatment, which is the actual official required protocol, he was first taken to the Bayview Cop Shop police station. Then he was taken, and this is over the course of several hours, then he was taken to 850 Bryant to CJ1. Mind you, he was picked up for a non-violent offense. right? At CJ1, his mental health continued to suffer from the impact of police activity and incarceration. And now this was a peaceful, religious, very, very spiritual brother, but it's aggravating when you get kidnapped by the police for not doing nothing. And he was a large brother, right? He was a large brother, let's be real about that. But that is not a crime. So, at CJ1, Darnell Benson begins to express his distress for the day that he is having, for the encounter, the unnecessary encounter that he is having with law enforcement at this point, police and sheriff's department. At the jail, they determined that yes, the correct thing to do is to transfer him to a medical facility, which is where he should have gone in the first place. The jail refused him because that's how illegitimate it was that he was taken there. But on his way out of 850 Bryant, he was deemed out of control by those authority figures. He was tackled. He was hogtied by SFPD and sheriff's deputies. He had a spit mask put over his face. His breathing was blocked. There were knees and elbows on him, just like George Floyd in Minneapolis. And he died. He lost consciousness in the ambulance. They desperately tried to revive him for the next 2 days and eventually called it quits, and I believe it was April the 6th, 2015, when they declared time of death. But he was dead on the 3rd, right there, when they killed him, right out front of 850 Bryant. Now here's the part where it connects back to London Breed. She knew him. He was like extended family to her. I won't get into dirty details of that. I'll let the reporters out in the crowd ask her about that. Okay? But she knew him. At the time, she was president of the Board of Supervisors.
President of the Board of Supervisors.
And she did not say a damn thing.
Didn't say a damn thing.
So when she sits here and tells you some swirl like, oh, I might be mayor, but I'm black first and I care so much about police accountability, ask her this. You could not even stand up for your own family. How can we trust you to stand up for anyone else?
Bullshit!
Last point.
Make it plain.
On in early April of this year, in the midst of this coronavirus pandemic, the Board of Supervisors of the City and County of San Francisco took an honorable stand when they realized the extent of the crime of refusing housing to homeless San Franciscans in a pandemic. They unanimously voted in an emergency ordinance that required the City and County of San Francisco to procure over 8,000 hotel rooms, with at least 7,000 of them explicitly designated for homeless San Franciscans. On April 24th of this year, this ordinance was enabled. London Breed did not sign it, but if without a veto, an unsigned ordinance becomes law 10 days afterwards. So on April, that was April 24th. By April 24th, the city and county was legally obligated to provide over 8,000 hotel rooms. Now in this cornball settlement with this shit-eating lawsuit, excuse my French, from UC Hastings, they want to talk about, oh, we'll give up 300 hotel rooms if you get rid of 70% of the tents. So they're giving up less than a quarter. The amount of hotel rooms covers less than 25% of the home need for housing for people just in this neighborhood alone, not counting the rest of homeless San Francisco. And they're asking for 70% of the tents to be gone, and they're calling that a deal, and this is like this deal between devils, back and forth between each other, when they were legally obligated 2 months months ago to provide 7,000. So when people ask me, and I'm a proud black San Franciscan, I have 2 family members that have lived and died in this neighborhood. I've been in every hotel in this neighborhood. I have been homeless. Gratefully, I'm not right now, but I know what it is like. I know what it is, and I still have love. I still remember, I still have love for my homeless brothers and sisters. And so when people want to, so people are going to ask you, because there's this meme going around where if you talk bad about London Bridge, that you must be racist. And then there's this other meme going around where Black Lives Matter. So let me, if you forget every other word that I have said here today, remember this. You cannot be pro-black and anti-homeless coherently in the city and county of San Francisco. If you are pro-black, you are pro-homeless. Black people are optimistically 6% of the population, but 37% of the homeless population. Don't make no sense. You cannot be anti-homeless and be pro-black. And that's where I'll leave you at today. I love y'all. Thank you for being here. Let's get this house in